Oh, wait, I forgot to put the rubber band on. Whoops. Give me a second. I forgot to put the rubber band on. How silly of me. There we go. So I got a comment saying, "This isn't Legends Arceus," and I replied to that comment, "Shiny hunting for Legends Arceus." I'm shiny hunting these for Legends Arceus. So look at that, we finally get to move on to something that's not Giratina. Now, what do you think would have been the smart play? The fact that Ultra Moon took so long for me to get Giratina. Maybe I try my luck in Ultra Sun, or continue in Ultra Moon. You bet your sweet Bippy I'm gonna continue in Ultra Moon. Why? Because fuck it. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about today. Couple things I want to mention first. Couple of breaking world news that happened earlier today. There's a huge fire going on in Hong Kong, where I think a cluster of 8 apartment buildings. Last I heard, 7 of them caught on fire. Let me see. Friends of mine were keeping updated on this earlier. And let's see. Around 5 hours ago, one of my friends said 36 dead and 279 missing. Damn. Prayers to them. That is absolutely crazy. That fire was not only huge, it also made global news. Thankfully, though, my family is nice and far away from there, as in they're in a totally different region of Hong Kong, so it's fine. So my family is fine. So prayers to the ones affected by that fire. And speaking of which, not only was that in the news today, I saw in the news earlier that there was a shooting that happened near the White House. Man, the world is on fire. Literally this time. The world is crazy, I tell ya. Alright, so a quick little story. Do you guys remember how last time I mentioned that my mom, she had an issue with her tooth and then her face was all swollen? Well, it turns out she had like an infection, so she's taking painkillers and antibiotics. So that led to yesterday, her taking the day off. So me and her spent the day together yesterday. We went shopping. My mom, what she really wanted to do was she wanted to go to the mall and buy me a new pair of pants. Because, I'll be honest with you guys, pants don't really fit me. I need to buy quite large pants to fill me up. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you my thigh is the size of a whole Thanksgiving ham. I'm being dead serious. I am not joking. I got them thick thunder thighs. So, yeah, pants don't really fit me. And a lot of times, the pants that do fit me, well, they don't last very long. Because the moment I just squat down, well, it rips. And then there's a big hole in the middle of where the crotch area is. Remember that episode where SpongeBob ripped his pants? Pretty much. So, why am I telling you this? So, when I was trying on pants, I went into the change room to try them on, and this particular change room I went into had 2 mirrors. One near the back, like one on the back, a little bit to the side, and one in front. So there were 2 mirrors, and oh boy. With there being 2 mirrors, I got a very good look at what the back of my head looks like. And oh boy, that does not look good. Oh, that looks a lot worse than I thought. Oh boy. Let me just say there is a lot of hair missing on the back of my head. Oh, yeah, that did not look good. And you know what? I gotta appreciate all my friends for never mentioning it. Hell, if I saw the way I looked, being rocked on someone else, I wouldn't want to mention it either. But now that I got a good look at what the back of my head looks like, oh, that does not look good whatsoever. Oh boy. Well, hair loss happens, and it is what it is. So, why am I mentioning this? Well, I'll get to it, trust me. In other news, do you remember a couple parts ago I mentioned that I had fragments of teeth coming out? Remember that? I mentioned that I spat out 2 solid white chunks that were hard as rock, and I certainly didn't eat anything that was solid, hard, and white. And then I mentioned I had a dentist appointment to check on what happened, so I had that dentist appointment today. The dentist looked, and sure enough, one of my teeth completely cracked. Well, not completely cracked, like, it chipped. Now, it wouldn't be as bad as I'm making it out to sound, because it's my wisdom tooth that this is affecting. If you guys remember, about 6 years ago, I got my wisdom teeth removed. However, I only got 2 removed. I only got my bottom 2 removed. I never got my top 2 removed. And those 2 have erupted out of the gums long ago. And well, the time has come to get these removed. 'Cause one of them has chipped. The dentist, using his tools, just merely poked at it, and that did not feel comfortable. That hurt. There is no filling it, because it's not just a cavity. This thing is deteriorating. It is rotting to the core. It needs to go. Can't put it off for any much longer. This wisdom tooth has to go. So at some point in the future, I will obviously need to probably take a month off from doing anything here just to recover from wisdom teething. But that's an issue for me in the next couple of months. Because remember, I'm going back to school in January, albeit it's all digital, it's all online, but still. So, I need to get my wisdom teeth removed at some point, and obviously I have 2 options. One option is stay awake and just have the doctor yoink it out, or I take some laughing gas and I go to sleep. I wake up with a very sore, puffed up chipmunk face. Man, you can put me to sleep. I ain't staying awake for this goddamn procedure. The last thing I want is for the dentist to have to try to pull out yet another rotting tooth, and it shatters upon attempt. I don't want that to happen again. You don't need me to tell that story again. I'm not trying to have the dentist, even if I am numbed, I'm not trying to have the dentist just simply clasp on with those pliers and then the whole tooth shatters again. Not again. I ain't having that happen again. I'ma be sleep for this. No amount of anesthetic is gonna help me there. Hell no, especially the fact that I gotta be awake for them to stick a needle into my gums to numb it. Oh, hell no. You can put my ass to sleep. I don't care if the insurance doesn't cover all of it. I'll pay the damn difference. I ain't being awake for this stinking procedure. Absolutely not. So, why did I mention the first story? Well, here's the thing. I kind of have an idea in mind. Before the procedure, I kind of plan on maybe shaving my head bald. Now, what's the point of that? Well, you know, my hairline's already patchy as is. And my family kind of doesn't want me to be seen in public with no hair. So, I get my wisdom teeth removed. I'm clearly not going to work. I'm clearly not leaving the house for maybe a month. You see where I'm going? Before I get my wisdom teeth removed, and I'm gonna be bedridden for bare minimum 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm thinking just shear it all off. I always wondered what I look like bald. Well, I'll know not even a decade from now, let's face it. But yeah, I kind of have that in mind. I mean, like I said, I get the procedure done, I'm just gonna be stuck at home anyways. No one can see my cranium as is anyways, so who cares? And if anything, it'll also be a benefit. I won't have to get up all the time to wash my hair. I don't wash my hair just one day, and it gets way too greasy. It is annoying. It'll grow back, or at least the follicles that still exist. Oh, I don't care. So, yeah. Wasn't there something else for me to mention? I got a shiny Hitmonlee in Pokemon Go today, and it turns out that's my first and only shiny Hitmonlee in Pokemon Go. So now I only have one shiny Hitmonlee, one shiny Hitmonchan, but I have several Hitmontops. You know, I had a stupid thought the other day. I was thinking, since Hitmontop, you need a Tyrogue that has equal attack and defense stats. A part of me was thinking, wait, what'll happen if you evolve a Tyrogue with equal stats in Gen 1? Does it just evolve? Is there a 50-50 shot of evolving into one or the other? And then I realized, wait a second, Tyrogue's not even in Gen 1. Dummy. Let me show you guys one more thing, because I know you just want me to get to Chainsaw Man. So, I did get the shiny charm in Legend ZA. And here's what I've been working on. So, here is my box of alphas. See that? So, while I was going for this third alpha Fennekin, which I haven't evolved yet, what I got in the process, not only did I also get this alpha shiny Kakuna, I also got this shiny female Fennekin. I wasn't even hunting for it, I was going for the alpha, and I got a shiny female Fennekin. That's a 1 in 8 for it to be female. And shiny. And then for a majority of today, I was trying to go for an alpha Sandile, as well as, while I'm at it, go for... Where is it? Where is Garchomp? Oh, here it is, right here. I was trying to go for Alpha Sandile and also maybe 2 Alpha Gibbles. While I was doing that, not only did I get a shiny Krokorok, I also got a shiny Alpha Machop. I've had the shiny charm for not even 2 days, and I already got 2 shiny alphas and 2 other shinies. Yes, my plan worked. My plan is working. My plan where I get the shiny charm before I hunt for the remaining alphas I'm missing. Yes, it's working. Alright, so let's get on with talking about the shows. I can tell someone's eyes just lit up. We have 4 things to talk about today. First up, we're gonna finish Hazbin Hotel. We still have the final episode of Season 2 to go over. And then we have 3 brand new shows for me to go over. Okay. So let's do it. Let's jump into Hazbin Hotel. Which, by the way, there was one detail I missed in the last episode. I'm like, didn't I miss something? I did. So their plan was to broadcast Penchis being in heaven as living proof that redemption is possible. Because Charlie mentioned sinners seeing is believing. So if they can prove that Penchis was redeemed and is in heaven, then they'll turn against Vox. That's the detail I missed last time. Oh, you wanna know what else? Speaking of details. So, regarding Gen V, there was one detail that I finally understood what it even meant. The fact that Marie wasn't able to sense any compound V in Cypher's body, but he still had powers, that makes sense. Because Doug is human and was only being controlled by Godolphin. Ah. It also turns out that, so I've looked into it, people online were instantly able to piece together that Cypher is Thomas Godolphin to the point where even the show writer or showrunner, someone from behind the scenes had to make a statement that they were disappointed the fans figured it out so early. I guess I'm just an idiot who just didn't think about it. I guess I'm just too naive to piece together everything myself. I don't know, I kind of just didn't see the plot twist coming. I really didn't see the plot twist coming until Marie healed Godolphin. All the way that far, I didn't piece it together. Maybe I'm just an imbecile. Anyways, so opening up the Hazbin Hotel finale, our characters are actually planning what they're gonna do. Since in the last episode, Vox did invite Charlie to his grand party, his grand victorious party. So our characters, they come up with a plan. And by the time we open up with the episode, they already came up with that plan, and we're just gonna run through it once more so everyone's clear. Alright, so the plan pretty much goes as followed. So Charlie and Vaggie will attend the party to be as a distraction to Vox, while everyone else, they have their own missions. So Husker and Cherry Bomb, they will go and get Angel Dust out of there and also break him free of whatever mind control he's under. So our characters just instantly know that Angel Dust was under mind control. Okay, there was no hint at this. There was nothing telling them that he could have been. Maybe he was being blackmailed, tortured, whatever. Nope, our characters just know he's being brainwashed somehow. Don't worry about it. And Nifty and Baxter will go into the computer room, the main server room, where they will hijack Vox's connections and then hook it up to Heaven, where they will broadcast Serpentious live. So Nifty pretty much needs to protect Baxter while he's working. Pretty much. So the plan goes. Charlie and Vaggie, they attend. I don't know why Vaggie kind of looked like a pirate, but whatever. Vox, though, he really just focused on Charlie, just gloating, just bragging about himself to her. He was kind of acting like a child, showing an adult, like, ooh, look at all these cool things on my phone. Where he was just going over all of these embarrassing pictures he took of everyone throughout the season. Well, while Vox is distracted, Vaggie goes and tries to destroy the machine, the Doomsday weapon that Vox had. She also talks to Carmilla Carmine. What? Hey, on a side note, why Carmilla Carmine kind of sexy in that dress though? She was kind of sexy season 1 when she put her hair down, but like, when she had that dress on. Anyways. Yeah, Carmine wasn't really willing to help Vaggie. Obviously not yet. That's kind of a trope you recognize with this character. She at first doesn't want to help, but then she ends up helping anyways. So Vaggie goes and tries to destroy the machine, and she kind of can't. She tries just poking it from the outside, like that'll do much. And then she decides to go into the machine where she discovers Lucifer's trapped in there. But she's not able to free Lucifer. So, yeah, Husk and Cherry, they go and find Angel Dust kind of, what's the word? It's not hungover. What's the word for drugs? It's not relapsing. Whatever, he's kind of coked out of his head. They try to get him out, but then Valentino shows up and starts fighting them. He also unleashes this, like, android on them. So, they fight. Yeah. Nifty and Baxter, they're in the computer room. They try to hack in, but then Velvet shows up, so then Nifty has to fight Velvet. She actually puts up a pretty good fight. And then, well, Baxter kind of just gets distracted and he starts cheering them on. Cheering on the cat fight instead of working. Whatever, obviously our characters, the good guys, overpower the bad guys, so that our characters, they win. They win against Valentino, they knock him out of the building. Nifty and Baxter, they work together, and it almost seems like they fried off Velvet's hair, and we know how she is about her hair. Whatever, they knock her off the building, and then when she lands, she kind of just falls apart. She's kind of like a Frankenstein creation. I didn't notice that about her design. She wears, lots of clothing all the time. The handful of times we saw her arms and other body parts, I noticed there were lines on the seams of her bodies, as if she's kind of connected like that. But I didn't know for sure until she landed on the ground and fell apart, Frankenstein style. Well, Vox realizes that Charlie was a distraction, but then nope, he seizes control. Also, Baxter's laptop gets destroyed, so he's not able to hack in. It's all on Pentious' end in heaven. So, Charlie believes the signal is working, so she goes on stage, announces everyone. Remember Sir Pentious? Oh, you don't know who he is? Well, he was someone just like you. And he stayed at the hotel and he redeemed himself. And he is up in heaven and he's gonna prove it right now. But the signal doesn't work. So Vox, yeah, he just gloats even more. I'm probably missing so many details. Vox, he wants Charlie to admit he's the strongest sinner in hell, to where Alistair is like, go ahead, do it. Do me this one little favor. And then it's calling back to the deal they made at the end of season 1, where, as a deal, Charlie has to admit Vox is the strongest sinner in hell upon Alistair's request. So she does so, and I guess being verbally appointed by the Princess of Hell, he now is indeed the strongest sinner in hell, because I guess that's how it works. So now, Vox is number 1. He is the strongest sinner in hell. And that is able to break the deal between Alistair and Rosie. Because their deal was Alistair would be the strongest sinner in hell. But if he's not the strongest, then the deal's off. And he's no longer Rosie's pet. Ooh, smart thinking, Alistair. And that's not all. Vox, he couldn't help it. He puts his hands on Charlie's shoulder, and that also breaks the deal Alistair and Vox had. So now, Alistair is free of 2 deals. To where he is able to fully unleash his powers. Well, not fully unleashed, because he's still weakened from his fight against Adam. But still, he's still able to let loose and truly fight against Vox. Long story short, throughout the fight, Alistair kind of gets the upper hand, but then Vox unleashes his shark on him. His shark shockwave. As a distraction. So that way Vox can go use his doomsday laser and try to shoot at Alistair. But because Alistair keeps on moving, Vox misses and just ends up destroying majority of Pentagram City and a bunch of sinners. But oh no, that puts people in danger. So Charlie, Emily, they both go try to save as many sinners as they can. Well, Vox going crazy using his machine. It's about to overload and explode, pretty much taking out all of Pentagram City. But Vox, he's lost it. He doesn't care. As long as he's the most powerful, he doesn't care if he gets taken out along with everyone else. So Velvet and Valentino, they've had it with him, so Valentino rips Vox's TV head off. You even see blood splatter, but somehow Vox is still alive. You know, there's all this thing about killing and the character staying permanently dead if you get killed in the afterlife. I guess that doesn't apply if Vox's head just gets ripped off. Alright. Is he like Zemeric? Just grab a new endoskeleton? Or exoskeleton, I should say. A new body and just reattach? So Vox is quote-unquote defeated, but oh no, the Doomsday weapon is about to explode. There's nothing they can do. Except they all reach out their hands and just have this power of friendship laser beam energy coming out of their hands to stop the machine. I don't know, that was a little weird. It gave me Kung Fu Panda 3 vibes where they all use their chi to save Po. It also gave me Mortal Kombat 1 vibes where they all are just doing a Kamehameha on the hourglass. I don't know, but the song was pretty good. The song they literally all sang together, it kind of sounded like a Christmas carol. The harmonizing was excellent. Oh yeah, also during the fight, Emily gets injured, so Sarah commands Abel and Lute to go down and retrieve her. As they go down during the song, Lute kind of goes crazy and wants to attack. So Vaggie holds her off, and Abel actually grows some balls and actually tells Lute off, even putting on his father's crown. So Lute submits for now. And then they continue singing their very nice harmonizing sounding song. Also, some of the overlords even pitch in to help. Even Valentino and Velvet did too. Alistair and Rosie do as well, though Rosie's pretty pissed off at Alistair. You know, I feel like they didn't really go into detail about their deal. At least not on Rosie's side. Because Rosie's end was she wanted Alistair to do one little favor for her, but until Alistair does it for her, his soul would be hers. Okay. From what we know, Alistair has been in hell for like 70 years now. For decades. And based on dialogue, Alistair has been doing her command. So it's like, what exactly did he have to do to be done? Because Alistair even said that he took a long hiatus for her. I don't know. Well, they stopped the big boom machine. Lucifer reveals that he's okay. Alright, cool. And, well, everything is fine. Yay, our characters win in the end. So the hotel is now booming. Hey, Kingpin, how's business? Booming! So, it took all the way to the end of Season 2, but hey, the hotel finally is functioning like a hotel and doing the function that it was meant to do. Oh yeah, also Penchus, he was able to broadcast himself down to hell as living proof. And he even finally got to speak with Cherry Bomb again. Good for them. So yeah, the hotel is finally having guests who want to be redeemed. Great. So Charlie leaves. Charlie tries to call her mom and leaves a very long message on pretty much, hey, it's the happy ending. Just want to let you know everything that happened. Give me a call back, Mom. And then she does get a call back from her mother. And then the episode ends. Wait, there was one more thing. So Angel Dust actually decided to, instead of go back to the hotel with them, he decided to go back to Valentino to continue working for him. I'm not too sure why. Obviously, Angel Dust feels guilty that he betrayed them, even though it was unwillingly. Yeah, pretty much. So, Has-Been Hotel Season 2 had its ups and downs. I saw video essays online that Charlie's Charlie's character writing was a little weak in this season. It was all over the place, borderline contradicting the way she acted in Season 1. And then there were also videos saying this season has a Vox problem. Like there's too much Vox this season. Vox was borderline a background character in Season 1. But then he kind of became the main character in Season 2. I bet you Vox won't really appear that much in future seasons. He'll show up every now and then, but he won't be as prominent as he was this season. Man, I kind of feel bad for actors who get that position where they are so prominent one season, but only for that season. And then any other season, they're kind of just sprinkled around from place to place. Vox's voice actor must have had a very hefty pay raise to be pretty much the main character in Season 2. Because let's face it, Season 2, the main characters were Charlie and Vox. I even mentioned this. Pretty much all other characters were set to the sideline. Oh, especially Alistair. Alistair, Angel Dust, all of them were set so far to the side. And we already know Season 3 is gonna have hell of a boss characters crossing over. So, yeah. Don't expect any more breathing room. What's your guys' favorite song from the season? I think my favorite might just be Gravity. Gravity just... Especially with that reprise at the end of the second last episode. I see people... I see the polls online. Like, the top favorite songs are between Gravity and Brighter. I gotta side with Gravity. Gravity just sounds... Yes. Just sounds... Let's see, is there anything else I should mention about Has-Been, or should we move on to what everyone's been waiting for me to watch and discuss? I saw a clip online of the creator saying that Season 3 will probably have a similar wait time as Season 1 and 2 had. But Season 4 probably won't have as big a wait time, since 3 and 4 were greenlit at the same time, so they're already on working... What? They're already working on Season 4 with Season 3. So the wait for Season 4 won't be as long after Season 3 airs. Is there anything else to mention? Alright, if not, then... Are you ready to discuss the next one? Tell me you're ready. Tell me. I want to see it. Tell me you are ready for me to discuss the next thing. Because up next, we will be discussing... Chainsaw Man. I watched the first episode, and we are going to talk about it. Are you ready for Chainsaw Man? Tell me, tell me you're ready. Never heard of it? Oh shit, then I guess I'll move on then. Alright, so aside from Chainsaw Man, I also watched the first episode of The Sandman Season 2, and accompanying Sandman, I also watched the first episode of Dead Boy Detectives. But we are going to talk about Chainsaw Man first. So, this has been in the making for 3 years, because it turns out it's been that long since the anime came out. So, I have been saying for 3 years I will watch this anime. Oops. Look at how quickly time flies, huh? 3 years has already passed, and I'm only now jumping on board. Everyone has already sailed away. I'm only now jumping on board. I'm not gonna lie, I almost had tears in the first episode. I can't imagine how that movie is gonna do me. Okay, so Chainsaw Man. The anime, the art style looks very, I don't want to say old school. It doesn't look like something that would have came out 3 years ago. The quality, yes. But just the art style kind of makes me... kind of brings me back to like... the early to mid 2010s, maybe? Okay, so the first episode of Chainsaw Man. I'm gonna butcher so many names. It's been a while since I last talked about an anime here. Last anime I talked about was the second season of Oshinoko. I didn't even watch Spy X Family Season 3 yet. I still have that. Oh, so many shows to watch. Okay. So, first episode of Chainsaw Man. The episode opens up with a POV shot of someone walking down an alleyway to a front door. Oh, never mind. The first episode opens up with some person waking up in a bed. We quickly learned that this is our main character. I think his name was Kenji. And we learn he is in crippling debt. He sold off, what was it? He sold off one of his kidneys, his eyeball, one of his nuts. But he is still in severe debt. He does lumber work, like he chops down trees for money. And his name is Dennis. Denji? What did I say? Kenji? Shit. I'm already messing up his name. Where did I get Kenji from? Is it actually Denji? Shit! I knew it was NG, like something NG. I knew I was gonna get the first letter wrong. Where did I get Kenji from? Whatever. So, Denji, according to you, is that actually Denji? Oh, it is Denji. Oh, whoops. It's the first episode, give me a break. I knew nothing of this show. So yeah, we see Denji. Not only does he do lumber work for a little bit of money, we also see exactly what he does mainly, and that is a devil hunter. No, not K-pop demon hunters, a devil hunter. He takes down a tomato devil, where he should have gotten a lot of money, but then yada yada yada, a bunch of hidden fees on top. He only makes very little, and that alone would only give him enough money for food for like a week. So you can't help but feel bad for Denji already. He lives in a pretty decrepit shack where it's just him and his little pet devil, Pachita? What the hell was this thing's name? Yeah, it is Pachita. And this thing is absolutely adorable. Based on what happens in this episode, I hope we see more of him. So we see that Denji and Pachita, the two of them, they only really survive off of bread. Plain white bread. Damn, maybe you could have sprung for the whole wheat stuff. It costs damn near the same. Denji was telling Pachita that quote-unquote normal people put jam on their bread before they eat it. That must be nice. But we're not normal. We don't have that kind of luxury. trying to fall asleep. Denji talking to Pochita is like, oh, I am going to die in this world without ever having a girlfriend. Shit, same brother. And he's also just like, I think he said something like, if I had one wish, I would bring a girl here, hit it off with her before I die. Shit, me too, brother. He's just like, me for real, for real. Oh, hell yeah, on God. Same here, fam. And he even acknowledges, I can't bring a girl here. I live in a little hut. It's like, believe me, I know what it feels like to be hopeless. I know. Especially in that department, I know, brother. I know. Now, this guy, at least at the moment, well, he still has certain benefits that I'll never have. He's tall. He's fit. And, well, I can't say that, he does have an adorable pet. And, I'm not gonna lie, the moment that almost made me tear up was seeing Pochito. Pochito, was it? Did it end with an A or an O? No, it ended with an A. Pochita. Seeing Pochita just snuggle up with Denji, that almost made me cry. Just because I missed the way Toby would snuggle up with me. I missed the way Toby would come up, put his head right into my arms. It's only just been over 3 months since he passed. So we see a flashback to their origin story of how the two met. So it's revealed that Denji, he's in debt because his father was in debt to the Yakuza. His father supposedly couldn't take it anymore, so he hung himself. And a young Denji at his father's grave, he gets threatened by the Yakuza guy, where you have one day to cough up, what was it, 700,000 yen, I think? So, like, Japanese currency. And if you don't, well, you die. So, behind the tree, a chainsaw dog devil shows up. And he's hurt. He's dying too. So Denji, having heard that devils may heal after consuming human blood, offers his own blood. But it's a deal. It is a deal between devils. Gee, as if I didn't just watch something that had exactly that. So, Denji helps out Pochita. Pochita helps out Denji. So together they slay a devil, and then Denji offers an idea to the Yakuza. Why don't you hire me as a devil slayer? A devil hunter, I should say. No, Devil Slayer sounds a little similar to some other anime. And that's pretty much what they've been doing. They've been waiting for jobs, which is to hunt and kill devils. Well, one night, literally what looks like the middle of the night, the Yakuza guy shows up at his little decrepit shed, which he just happens to know where he lives, which okay. And said, come with me, we have a job for you to do. So he leads him into this warehouse, which is not ominous and not shady whatsoever. The Yakuza guy, he's just like, you've been loyal to us, loyal like a dog. But here's the thing, I hate the stench. And then he gets snuck up on and from behind. Both Denji and Pochita gets stabbed clean through. And then it's revealed that majority, if not all, of the Yakuza members, they were a little too power hungry. So they made a deal with the devil, literally. It's revealed to be the zombie devil. So now the Yakuza are entirely zombified. And the zombie devil, claiming that this thing hates devil hunters, commands his legion, his army of zombies, to kill them both and just toss them away. Well, Denji being stabbed clean through and also carrying Pochita, he does his best to try to run or just get away to the exit. He tries his best. For a moment, I thought he was doing better than Rick Grimes was when he got impaled and was trying to get away. But, no. One of the zombies is able to catch up to him and then stabs him, slashes him through the back. He falls and then he gets stabbed several times to the point of death. Ooh, it was brutal. See, that's what The Boys is missing. Painful, agonizing screaming when it comes to deaths. The Boys, the deaths may be brutal, but they're silent. They're quick. They're instant. So we see Denji dying, bleeding out inside of a dumpster, which is revealed to be inside the warehouse. It's not even outside. There's a dumpster inside the warehouse. All right. Cool. So his blood drops into Pochita's mouth, and that is enough to heal Pochita. We get another flashback to where the two of them are doing lumber work for money. Denji reveals he heard some devils are able to take over human bodies after the human dies. And so he wants Pochita to do just that if he were to die, since he dreads the idea that if he were to die, then Pochita would be left alone in this world. Maybe, if not starved to death, then maybe some other devil hunter would kill Pochita. So, if the worst comes and Denji dies, he wants Pochita to take over his body and keep on going. Oh, hi there, Just a Person. We're going over Chainsaw Man. So, in a brief glimpse of death, right before death, Denji talks to Pochita. Literally, Pochita replies back as if it was that one time Pikachu spoke back to Ash. Man, that movie sucked. And then we see Pochita literally infuse himself onto Denji. Body parts start reattaching with chainsaw wires in between. I kind of thought the direction they were going was Denji himself is dead, but the living being now is Pochita, just simply inhabiting Denji's dead body. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's sister location style. But no, they opted for the more sad ending, it seems. Because it kind of seems like Pochita died. Pochita gave up his life so that Denji would live. Aw, now I'm sad. I hope that's not the case. I hope we see Pochita again. I swear to God, don't make me attached to this adorable little creature just for him to be only in episode 1, please! Okay. So, now alive, Denji emerges from the dumpster with a string coming out of his chest, and we know the string is Pochita's tail. So the zombie devil sees he's still alive and then orders his zombies to tear him apart and kill him again. He gets absolutely dogpiled on. But then he emerges after pulling his string, his tail, pulling you know what I'm trying to say, pulling Pachita's tail, which is now sticking out of his chest. He becomes the Chainsaw Man. His head becomes a chainsaw, so does both his arms. And he just mows down the zombies. He gets an attack in, he gets a hit in on the big zombie devil himself, but then he gets flung off. So now even the zombie devil is afraid. He's picking up his zombies and throwing them as if he was the Beast Titan, as if he was a Gargantuar, just trying to keep his distance away, but nope, you mess with the wrong person, because Chainsaw Man has cut you in half. And to my surprise, the zombies, they didn't fall. So Denji, he just continued to mow down the rest of the zombies with a very, very happy tone, because he's thinking, once all of you are gone, I will owe nothing in debt anymore. Alright, so the next morning, 3 people show up. 2 random guys, who I don't even know if they're going to be important characters or not. And a girl. A girl shows up, seeing the carnage inside, and sees that there is some being left in there. It's not human, but it's also not a devil. It's a bit of both. She walks right up to this guy, not knowing if he would plunge his chainsaw forehead right into her skull. And she's able to talk him down. For some reason, Denji says, "Hug me," and then the girl just embraces him in her arms. I mean, that's a big W for my mans right here, but like, that was random. That just came out of nowhere. A random hug me, and then she does. So then the chainsaw parts of him melts off. But then I assume he is pretty, I assume he would be pretty exhausted. So he collapses, and then the girl just embraces him in her arms. And she gives him 2 choices. I could either kill you like a devil, or I could take you back with us, because we are, I forget what she called the group. She works for a group, like an actual organization that supposedly kills devils and protects the public. So she gave Denji a choice. 2 choices. I could kill you here like a devil, or I can bring you back with me, and I could feed you. What kind of food will there be? Oh, you know, bread with jam. Sounds awesome. I don't know, it's kind of a coincidence she said exactly what he wanted. Buddy, you ain't slick. I know damn well that is the Rickroll link. You ain't slick. I know exactly that's the Rickroll link. But fine, since you highlighted it here. There, you happy? I clicked on it. So, there you go, Chainsaw Man, the first episode. It was interesting. Interesting concept. I'll be honest, I knew next to nothing. I am satisfied. You have been rickrolled 4 times. What can I even say to that? I mean, joke's on you, I actually like that song. I genuinely do. Not just for the memes, not just for the jokes, I actually do just like the song. So yeah, Chainsaw Man. Interesting concept. I knew next to nothing before going into the show. And how ludicrous, how asinine is it of me? Since the movie came out, which I have not watched yet, clearly, I've just started episode 1. Since the movie came out, there's been all this debate between Riz and Makima. How unforgivable is it of me that I completely forgot power existed? Whoops. Seeing these two being debated, I'm just like, oh yeah, this character existed too. It wasn't until I saw the opening credits, I'm just like, oh yeah, she exists. Right. There's not just 2 girls, there's a third one. Whoops. Oh yeah. Power. That's right. Bro, you did not just send me your actual plush of Chainsaw Dog. Oh man, you see what happens when I join these things late? I could have had this. Add more to my very shameful collection of things that I have. So there you go, Chainsaw Man. We have 11 more episodes to go before I get to this monumental, generational changing movie. I don't even know what's gonna happen in this movie. Goddamn, I'm expecting this movie to change my life. Change my view in the world. The plush is $120 now? Okay, let me just open up your picture real quick. Right click, save image. $120, that's the price of a Nintendo Switch 2 game now. I wish I was joking. I'm really not. It really is the price of that now. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear on the news, especially to my Canadian viewers, did you guys hear on the news that sometime soon we're gonna get like 50 centimeters of snow? 50 centimeters! A ruler is 30! I'd rather not. At least you don't have a sister. You don't need me to get into that again. Just know, when you're the one shoveling the snow, at least you don't have a sister. Okay, so we have 2 more shows to go over, and yes, finally, now that Chainsaw Man's out the way, now I can talk about some good stuff. I just offended so many people. Good. So, The Sandman, Season 2. This show, Season 2 came out a while ago. I've wanted to watch it for quite a while, but I put it off until now. Watching this first episode, I should have watched the season long ago. I should have started the season the moment it came out, because this first episode was spectacular. I cannot glaze this show enough. The Sandman is so incredible. It is magical. This show is something else. This show is special. The show is, it's not action heavy. So all you people who will complain it's boring, it's slow, it's too much talking. But if you really appreciate storytelling and fine visuals, this show is a masterpiece. It is so incredible. Season 1 alone was mind-blowing. And Season 2, the first episode, I am ready. I am ready. I am so ready to just embrace the remaining 11 episodes in Season 2. Like, dare I say, this show is absolutely worthy to twerk for. To handstand, completely throw it back for. This show, yes. And you know what? You know what? You know what really makes me sad? What really hurts my feelings? And I'm not joking, too. The fact that so many people recommend me stuff. Chainsaw Man. People recommend me stuff all the time. And hey, I actually watched them. I watched all of From. I'm watching Chainsaw Man now. Yet, nobody will ever listen to my recommendations. I would absolutely recommend The Sandman, because this show is that good. It's slow-paced, yes, it's not action-heavy, but the storytelling is incredible. The visual effects... the visual effects are out of this world. They rival some of the most expensive movies out there. And I'm not kidding. Every episode has high quality fantasy visual effects. It makes me question, how the hell is this show's budget not overbloated to the point it's cost like 10 times more than some of the highest action movies out there? Was that a bot? Yes. Alright, so The Sandman. I didn't cover Season 1 when it came out. But now I'm covering Season 2. So, The Sandman. As if I didn't already have my fill with DC or Heaven and Hell, these kind of realms, with what I've just been watching before. Well, now, everything I've been watching before get to do a little fusion dance and combine together. So we open up with Dream, Morpheus, creating a brand new kingdom for himself. Because in Season 1, his kingdom kind of fell into disarray when he was captured for a century. So this season opens up with Morpheus trying to create a brand new dream kingdom for himself. But then, he gets summoned. He gets summoned by his brother, Destiny. And Destiny needs to summon all of the Endless for something. We don't know what just yet. He will summon all... Wait. He will tell everyone why he summoned them when they all have gathered. So one by one, we see each of the Endless come together for supposedly the first time in centuries. So we see one by one each of the Endless show up. We see Death, we see Dream, Desire, Despair, Delirium. And I gotta say, Delirium. Delirium, 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 delirium. Delirium, an unhinged redhead goth girl? Yes, sign me up. So, each one of the Endless come to the family meeting. However, there is one missing. There's one missing because he left. And no one knows where he is. The last one of the Endless should be Destruction. right? So we don't know where destruction is. I wonder if we're gonna see destruction in this season. So they gather. Dream asks why he has gathered them. Destiny reveals the reason he gathered them is because the Fates had met up with him. The three sisters, the Fates, they paid Destiny a visit, and they told him to look in his book because he will see what is written and what will play out soon. See, the thing with Destiny is that he has a book with him that tells him everything. Everything that has happened, will happen, everything. From the beginning of time to the end of time. That book says all of it. So in a way, everything that has happened or will happen is kind of predetermined. That book kinda means that there's no free will because everything that has happened or will happen is already written. So they question Destiny why they have gathered. And Destiny said because the book needs them to gather now. Because something is going to happen. And you 5 will stop it. I cannot tell you anymore. But for now, you 5 must talk. You must speak as a family. And that's really all Destiny gives them to work with. I gotta say too, I really dig Dream's long hair. Shit, I wish I had luscious locks like that, but we all know what my problem is. So they talk, and of course, Desire gets under Dream's skin, because we know what happened between them in Season 1, where Desire kind of orchestrated everything bad to happen to Dream. Dream teases their brother, because out of all of the Endless, there is no assigned gender to Desire. So Desire teases their brother. You know, what have you been up to, my brother? Any girlfriends you've killed since then? Or damned to hell? So that really pisses off Dream. Because we know in Season 1, it's been teased what happened to him in the past, or rather, what Dream did. In Season 1, we get a hint of a backstory that Dream had damned one of his lovers to hell for eternity. Why? Because she supposedly betrayed him. I'm not even going through the visuals of this show, but trust me, they are beautiful. I don't know how this show's budget isn't overbloated, because it is a testament. So Dream steps away, but then Death goes and talks to her brother. So we get the flashback. We finally get the backstory to exactly what happened. So, Dream's love, his former love, Nada, she was the queen of her people, the queen of the first people. We see a flashback. Nada, she rules her people right, fairly. But she has not married yet. She has not because she has not met her husband yet. Someone who would rule with her. Someone who would put the needs of the people before his own desire. Before his own needs. However, she has seen that person in her dreams. But then she sees him before her in real life. It is none other than Morpheus. Now, you gotta keep in mind, Morpheus is one of the Endless. He's able to take whatever form he wants. So instead of looking like the pale, pasty, skinny boy that we've grown to love, he can make himself look like a black man. Now, I don't know if it's the same actor from season 1, if he was recast or not. I haven't really paid that much attention. But would it really matter since Dream can take whatever form he wants? So Dream presents himself before Nada. But then, after a short discussion, he leaves. Nada has her guards search the town for this man, but with no luck. Until one night, she sees him in her dreams, only because Morpheus allowed her to see him. Inside of the dreaming, Nada asks the King of Dreams to help her find this person, but then it's revealed it is the King of Dreams. The person she loves is the King of Dreams, and the King of Dreams loves her back. But she knows that it is forbidden for a mortal to be in a loving relationship with one of the Endless. Somehow she knows about the Endless. Maybe the Endless were more well-known, like more commonly known in the past, but in present day, nobody knows they exist. She's hesitant to be with Dream, because she knows that ruin will fall. Ruin will follow to any mortal, and the king himself, if one of the Endless ends up with a mortal. But Dream just can't help himself. So what he does is he proposes to Nada on the spot. And he goes, "If you do not accept my hand, I will never bother you again." He offers her, Dream kind of offers her godhood. He kind of offers her equal power next to him in ruling all of the dreaming. She agrees, but damn, ruin did not take long to follow, let me tell you, because almost immediately after, a meteorite falls from space, strikes where Nada's people are, completely wiping them out, and destroying the entire town. Like, damn, ruin did not take long to fall. So she feels responsible. Nada feels guilty that she allowed herself to be with the King of Dreams, and thus bringing ruin and destruction to all of her people. Nada is ready to leave Dream because of her guilt, but Dream gives her a choice. You can please stay and rule by my side, or you could be damned for your sins for all eternity. And Nada chose guilt over power. So she has been in hell for the past 10,000 years. And Dream felt as if she had betrayed him this whole time. So now, 10,000 years later, Dream is reflecting back on his choice, and with the advice of his sister Death, he realizes, so you're telling me maybe my decision back then was a little bit impulsive? Because Dream even mentioned, you yourself were imprisoned, has been in hell, like in a hotel or something? No. Not in this iteration. So Dream... Anyway, so Death even mentioned you were imprisoned for 100 years by Roderick Burgess, my bad, in season 1. That was literally the first episode. Dream was imprisoned for 100 years. Nada has been imprisoned for 10,000. That's the time span for Calamity Ganon. So Dream, realizing, oh shit, I have done the woman I love a disservice. She has been locked in hell because of me for 10,000 years. I must do something. I must go and free her. So he has to leave the family meeting and tells Death, please tell the rest of the family I have to go. But this is bad. Dream now has to embark on a journey to hell. That is not good. So he tells his friends. He tells Lucien, he tells Pumpkinhead, I forgot his name. What was his name? He's voiced by Mark Hamill. What was his name again? And also, I remember the actor's name, I don't remember the character's name. Patton Oswalt returns, voicing, the Raven character? Shit, what was his name again? Ah, there it is. Mark Hamill, Merv Pumpkinhead. There it is. What was his name again? Matthew! Jesus Christ, that was his name. Matthew the Raven. How could I have forgotten? Anyway, so, yeah. Dream tells Lucien, Merv the Pumpkinhead, and Matthew the Raven that he needs to go on a journey to hell. So he may be gone for a long time. And you have to remember, he is one of the Endless. Imagine how long a long time would be for him. So everyone is urging Dream, don't do this. It's dangerous, it's risky, it's a dumb idea. Please don't do this, Dream. Send me instead, please. Lucien wants to be sent instead. But Dream tells him, I've already sent someone to deliver my message to Lucifer. Who? So we see exactly who was sent to hell to deliver a message to Mazikeen and Lucifer. At first I was like, who is this guy? I don't remember him. I don't recognize him. But then it wasn't until Lucifer shows up and says, firstborn male of a woman. It's Cain. That's right. He sent Cain to speak to Lucifer and deliver him deliver his message. I kind of forgot Cain and Abel were in the show. They briefly showed up in season 1. But yeah, he sent Cain, the first serial killer. So Cain delivers the message to Lucifer. Basically telling her that I, Dream of the Endless, will come for one of the damn souls you have in hell, Lucifer. And, well, Lucifer is not very happy about this. Because the last time, in Season 1, when Dream paid Hell a visit to find his relics, he kind of, I don't want to say embarrassed Lucifer, but did best her in battle. And now Dream is returning unannounced, with or without Lucifer's invitation, to attempt to free one of the damn souls in Lucifer's captivity. Jesus. So Lucifer, she's very not happy. But before that, before Dream embarks towards hell, he has a couple of preparations to do. So first, he goes to see Hippolyta. Not really Hippolyta. He goes and sees his son with Hippolyta. because he warns her. Even Hippolyta, she's not a big fan of Dream. Dream warns that he may be gone for a long time. So, he just wants to see his son. He just wants to see his boy. Hippolyta is just like, why can't you just leave us alone? And Dream says, because he was conceived in my realm. So he is a part of it, whether you like it or not. So first, he sees his son and Hippolyta. And then, ooh, I like this. He goes and sees Hobgadling. Now, Hobgadling at first is doing something weird. He's in this like medieval play showing the queen the internet. And then it's revealed he's dreaming. Hobgadling is dreaming, and Morpheus paid him a visit in his dream. He did so he could tell Hob, I may have to miss our next meeting, just because I may be gone for a while. And Hobgadling even says, you saying a long time sends shivers down my spine. So, Morpheus gives him a parting gift before they separate for who knows how long, potentially. Could be centuries, could be millenniums. Hobgadling, I think he is just shy of 1,000 years old. So Dream, he leaves him a nice little wine bottle from like the 18th century. Hobgadling's just like, I didn't think there was a bottle of that left on Earth. Dream says there are still some remaining in the dreaming. And I'm just like, really? That's how it works, huh? There's a few left in the dreaming? Can't you just conjure it up? I don't know. But it is sad, you know? Hobgadling has to say goodbye to one of his only friends that he has known for his entire extended life. We see that Hobgadling, he now has a partner. I don't know if it's a wife, but he has a partner with him. So he wakes up and sees the wine bottle really next to him in reality, not just in his dream. So Hobgadling knows it was real. Alright, so all preparations are made. Dream is about to go to hell, literally. And we see Lucifer. She's ready. Lucifer has prepared hell, prepared the demons to welcome Dream when he shows up. And she even tells Cain to deliver this message to him. So Cain falls through a fire ring back to where Dream is and delivers the message where Abel is searching for his brother. So Cain delivers the message to Dream. So Cain, Abel, Lucien all warn Dream not to go. But he goes anyways. So we see Dream go to hell. And he admits he's scared as well. He doesn't know what will happen. We also see Destiny. He sees in his book all of this is written, down to the last word that Dream said. And that's episode 1. I talked about the plot, but the visuals, the music, the acting, everything is masterfully done. There's a video essay out there saying how Tom Sturridge became the character. Like, no actor really becomes the character as much as this guy has. And yes, if you watch this, you really do forget you're watching an actor perform. You just see the character. He is so immersed in his role, it is really hard to remember this is someone acting and not just a character. So, Sandman, Season 2, Episode 1 is phenomenal. A really strong start to Season 2. Like I said, I would recommend this show because of how good it is, but no one listens to me. No one ever takes me up on any shows I recommend. And you know what? This is how I imagine hell would be. Actually scary. Actually not very welcoming. Like, this is a place you don't want to be. The hell we see depicted in Has-Been Hotel, hey, looks kind of fun, you know. Doesn't look like that bad of a place to be at, but the hell depicted here actually is scary. And also, this depiction of Lucifer actually is scary. This Lucifer, oh yeah, she is a force to be reckoned with. She is not like the other two Lucifers I have seen. So, this is what I imagine hell to be. And I will know for sure when I die and I go there myself. You know, despite how good this show is, and it is good, trust me, it is really good, there are only little hints of woke sprinkled in, which is such a shame. But given how good the show is, I am more than willing to forgive it. There are 3 major woke changes I see made. Number 1 is obviously the gender bent for Lucifer. She's not a man in this, she's a woman. A lot of people did not like that change, me included. But for what we got, a female Lucifer, oh yeah, she's scary as hell. Oh, she is scary. You do not want to mess with her. The second one is the race bending for Death. Death in the comics was supposed to be super pale, super white, but now she is super black. Now, inherently, there's no issue with that. It's just, wasn't really what we were expecting. Wasn't really what we got in the comics. And number 3, which I'll give them a pass. The gender bent for John Constantine. Because in the show, she's a woman. She's Joanna Constantine. Not Constantine, Constantine. But, you know what? This one I'm actually going to give them a pass for, just because I know the reasoning. Around the time, DC may have wanted to do something with the Constantine character on the movie side, and the show wasn't allowed to use the male character, John Constantine. So they opted for a female version, Joanna Constantine. It's the same reason why John Constantine was written off of Legends of Tomorrow. DC wanted to do something with the character, maybe bring back Keanu Reeves for another movie or do something else, but clearly we know now that did not play out. We know now James Gunn took over. But that's why at the time we got a female John Constantine, because they weren't allowed to use the male character. So, Sandman Season 2. The Endless are such fascinating characters. Whoops, I reset before I even encountered it. You know, it's kind of crazy to think that the Endless are DC. DC has so many magical, supernatural, mystical characters, but it's really hard to remember this is DC. The Sandman is DC. Like, I would love to see the Endless stand next to the Justice League, but that actually would not make any sense. That just would not work. Imagine Superman flying by, and then you just see Dream of the Endless show up. That'd be so weird. That just would not make sense. I saw a video out there. Does Darkseid know about the Endless? Does Darkseid know the Endless exist? Honestly, maybe. Given Darkseid's vast knowledge, he might. So it's really hard to remember that this is DC. Anyways, so Sandman Season 2 has already an incredible start. I'm super excited to watch the rest of the season. So now let's go over the final show to discuss for tonight. That being same in the Sandman universe, Dead Boy Detectives. Now, sadly, this show was canceled, so it didn't really get a chance to be fleshed out before the show ended, but we now know it is in the same world as the Sandman. Now, technically, I should be talking about Dead Boy Detectives before the Sandman Season 2, since it takes place before. But it's one of those kinds of loose connections where literally you don't need to watch it to understand. It's just if you want something extra, then by all means go ahead. And I absolutely am. Alright, so Dead Boy Detectives. You guys know the backstory to this show, right? Right? How this is a spin-off of a spin-off, and both those spin-offs disconnected? Dead Boy Detectives is a spin-off of Doom Patrol. And Doom Patrol is a spin-off of Titans. However, both Doom Patrol and Dead Boy Detectives disconnected and became their own thing. Ah, don't you just love Hollywood sometimes? However, Dead Boy Detectives disconnecting from Doom Patrol did end up connecting to the Sandman. Before the show came out, there were rumors about it since it would be on Netflix and not HBO Max, along with its other DC brethren. And after watching the first episode, oh yeah, it's definitely connected. It's kind of like that, well, just based off the first episode, it's kind of like that Gen V connected to The Boys kind of connection. So we open up in London, and we meet our two main characters. We meet Charles and Edwin. Edwin is more of the serious one. Charles is more of the playful one. So they fall out of a building to start off, and they're running. We see Charles. He has a magical backpack, which we learn later in the episode is a pocket dimension in the shape of a backpack that only he can control after years of practice. So the two of them, they're on the run from something going after them. They have a tool that can help with this particular situation they're in, but Charles, he forgot the packet. So now they're kind of on the run. And what they're on the run from is a World War I ghost. A World War I soldier who is on the attack. But no, not attacking living people, attacking them. So they need to run. And we learned that the Dead Boy detectives, they are able to travel, to quick travel, through mirrors. So they jump into a mirror and they're able to just go somewhere else. Edwin and Charles, they jump into a mirror and then they end up in this like shining looking hotel hallway. But the World War I soldier follows them. They run into this lady cleaning up a room. They run into her cart, and we see nothing hit the cart. Now, if the name didn't give it away already, these two are dead. The name is Dead Boy Detectives. They are dead. So this episode has a ton of like text flashing on the screen to tell you what's happening. So there's a big fat yesterday that pops up, so we see exactly what happened. So the Dead Boy Detectives are exactly what the name implies. These two are dead, and they take on supernatural cases as detectives. They got hired for a job because there is a vengeful spirit out there from the First World War on the attack. So they need to solve the case. They realize that his gas mask is what's keeping him vengeful. So while the soldier is on top of Charles, about to kill him, Charles cuts off his mask, throws it to Edwin. Edwin chants something in Latin, burns off the mask, but then this guy is set free. Finally. He is finally set free and is able to rest. But the two of them, Charles and Edwin, they need to run and hide. They need to move quickly because death is coming for the soldier. And if they don't hurry, she will take them as well. Now, at this point in the episode, I was thinking, funny you say she. Hinting at death, are we? Hinting at maybe connected to the Sandman? So the two of them, they leap out the window and hang off the balcony to hide. And then to my surprise, Death actually shows up. Kirby Howlett Baptist, Kirby actually shows up to play Death. I didn't expect that. So Death from the Sandman actually does show up. I didn't know she would be in this show. I do know that one of the characters from Dead Boy Detectives will show up at the end of Sandman Season 2, but I didn't know it would be the other way around. I didn't know Sandman characters would show up on this one. Now, I'm kind of betting this will probably be the only time just Death showing up to bring the soldier to the afterlife. Turns out they didn't meet before. Death met him like 100 years ago, but he was so confused. So now that he's finally free, he can move on. So he questions where he's going now. He said when he was in India, they talk about reincarnation. There was a poem he read by Kipling. Now, that name drop is kind of funny, because remember what I said. This show spun off of Doom Patrol, where Kipling was a character on. But, this is now disconnected. So Death takes away the soldier, and then we get the opening sequence. The opening sequence to Dead Boy Detectives is very scary, spooky skeletons vibe. Hell, we literally see a skeleton dance in the opening sequence. And also, we do get like little vibes of the Doom Patrol intro in this intro. Anyway, so Charles and Edwin, they get a new client. It's this little girl. And she wants their help because, well, obviously she's a ghost. But one of her friends is still living, is still human, and she's able to see her. But lately she's been acting strange. Probably is a possession. So she wants to hire the Dead Boy Detectives to solve the case. And they do just that. Whoops. They grab disguises. And then they follow the girl who's possessed into the train to try to exorcise her. But then, like, I don't think the clowns were even them. Because the clowns get off the subway. And then we don't see them again. Like, it was a... it was a red herring. The clowns were not their disguise, because the two other people, the two ordinary looking civilians on the train were who they really were. Anyways, so now they're alone with this girl, they exorcise her, the demon is gone. But then, oh no, she doesn't have her memories. She knows her name, but she doesn't have her memories. Must be a side effect of the possession. So Charles offers her to stay with them until your memories come back, but Edwin is very against it. Edwin, we learned throughout this episode that he's a bit of a jerk. He doesn't want this living mortal girl to be around them to interfere with their detective work. Oh yeah, how is she able to see them? She's a psychic. And also, they kind of did save her. So she is able to see and communicate with them. But no one else can. So whenever she's just walking around, it looks like she's talking to herself. She's talking to no one. So after a quick walk and chat with Charles, Charles is just like, alright, she's staying with us. She's helping us out with the cases. Because she's psychic. She can help us save a lot of time. Also, there's some sort of like mail delivery system where like haunted mail gets delivered to them. Because remember, these guys are dead. They don't own an actual post office. So there's supernatural mail that gets mailed to them. So amongst the mail is a missing poster for a little girl in America. And, oh yeah, the girl's name. I even forgot to mention her name. The girl's name is Crystal. Crystal Palace. That is quite the name. Alright, so Crystal obviously wants to go and help this little girl who is missing in America. The dead boys, they're not sure, but obviously they go along with it. So instead of just jumping through mirrors and ending up in America in an instant, 3 flights and 1 ferry ride later, now they're in America. So they need a place to stay. Crystal, she sees on her, her little gizmo called a phone, through this thing of hers called the internet, that there is an offering opened up for an apartment for rent. And it's at a butcher shop. So Crystal, she rents out the apartment. There's also someone, a neighbor living across from her. We briefly meet her later. Alright, so now they have a base of operation. They go to the girls, the missing girl's place to talk to her parents. Oh yeah, what was the missing girl's name again? Oh yeah, Becky, that was her name. Becky, what was it? Becky Aspen. There we go. So they're trying to find the missing girl, Becky Aspen. So they go to her parents, and because Crystal is a psychic, she's able to read into her parents' minds. So as a psychic, she needs to touch something that belonged to the victim. That way she can really get a grasp on what happened. So during trying to looking into Becky's mother's memories, she did see that the police found Becky's shoes, you know, as the last remaining items of the missing. So Edwin, he just jumps through a mirror, goes to the police station, picks up the shoes, and gives it to Crystal so that she can read off of it. And she's able to now know exactly where Becky should be. So they go to this creepy looking house that, well, it doesn't look as creepy as a house in Welcome to Derry, but it almost looks like the same neighborhood. They use a telescope to look inside. They see it is occupied. But then they see a cat walk by. They ask the cat if the cat knows anything about the house. And the cat talks back. The cat's just like, I'm not telling you anything about the witch inside that house. So Crystal asks, cats talk now? The dead boys reveal, yeah, cats can talk, they just don't talk to humans. Alright. So supposedly in this universe, cats can talk, they just don't talk to humans. That's a crazy revelation. So all cats in this universe on Earth are able to speak? Just not to humans, huh? They go into this diner to regroup and think about their plans since they know a freaking witch is in that house. A witch who kidnaps little girls. So they need to come up with a plan. They go to this diner. Crystal goes to the bathroom where she gets paid a visit by her demon who possessed her. It's also revealed earlier that the demon's name is David. So she may have been exorcised from David possessing her, but David still hasn't left her alone. David actually stole some of her memories, of which he is not willing to give back. So there is a pretty big fight that happens between Crystal and Edwin. How Edwin wants nothing to do with her. Edwin doesn't want her to be here. But Crystal gets pretty pissed off, saying, your case isn't done. You exorcised me, but the case isn't done. The demon is still after me. It's still following me. So they get into a fight where she wanders off. But Charles tries to talk to Edwin, who is being pretty cold and stern, like she's just being scared. Edwin's like, scared? I was in hell for 70 years. Don't talk to me about being scared. We now know it's the same hell as in the Sandman. So we get a flashback to Edwin's backstory, where even the aspect ratio changes. And the coloring. The coloring changes to black and white. So it is now 1916, and we see just what happened to Edwin when he died. He was actually abducted in his sleep. A group of boys, a group of bullies at his school, are holding him down, gagged him, and are doing some sort of demonic ritual to offer him as a sacrifice. Oh yeah, that's smart. That's such a prank. It's just a prank, bro. So anyways, the demon kills all of them. And then the demon acts very politely to Edwin. He's just like, sorry, mate. I'm sorry I have to do this, but you are technically a sacrifice, so I do have to take you to hell now. And then just demolishes him. Vaporizes him. I don't know, the CGI was also a little bit goofy here. So yeah, Edwin, he died in 1916 because he was sacrificed. Well, yada yada yada, everyone makes up, so they come up with a plan to save the girl. Also, we learned just how Crystal got possessed by David. You know, she thought this handsome guy was interested in her, so they hooked up, but then when she realized he was a demon, well, she didn't really care. She just let him in, as in let him in to possess her. So we finally get like a breakdown on why Edwin has been so cold to her. Why Edwin has been just so serious. He doesn't like that Crystal, she's all fun and games, not taking everything seriously. But the way Edwin sees it, these mysteries, these cases are serious. We are supernatural detectives. We solve cases that cannot be solved. Because Edwin's saying when he died, it was a mystery. Nobody cared. When Charles died, the school just wrote it off. When they were alive, they didn't matter. Nobody solved their mysteries. Nobody cared about them when they died. So that's why he takes these cases so seriously. These are mysteries that cannot be solved if not for them. So that's why Edwin is so serious, so cold to Crystal. Well, yeah, after a makeup, they work together to solve the case. Also, it's pretty funny to think that the boys, they never heard of the internet. Which is kind of interesting. Edwin, you know, he died in 1916 and was trapped in hell for 70 years. So anyways, yep. The dead boys, they go into the witch's house. They fall into a trap where they find Becky. Crystal, urged for her own safety, stays out. But she walks as anyway. She realizes something's wrong, so she approaches. The witch comes back. You know, they sent her on a wild goose chase, but she comes back. She is about to get Crystal, but then the dead boys, they show up to save her. Oh yeah, it's also realized the dead boys, they're weak to iron. Like it burns them, it also weakens them, makes them unable to move, so they're weak to iron. So, they try to fight, but the witch is too powerful. To where Charles... Oh yeah, they did manage to get Becky out of there. They put her in Charles's pocket dimension backpack where she actually fits into there. Anyway, so Charles possesses the witch, tries to get her away, but then the witch just bashes her head in to knock Charles out. Now, possession is a no-no. Possession is a big no-no, because bad things will happen. Well, the witch goes back to her house. Becky gets rescued, goes back to her family. But then... Alright, so they're now friends. They work together. But then, oh no. The afterlife, lost and found, got an alert. And whoever the lady is in charge of the afterlife, lost and found, now has found the two naughty boys thanks to the possession. I know me breaking this episode down was a huge mess, but just bear with me. You know, the dead boy detectives, they're dead. They're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. They're supposed to be moving on to the afterlife. But they're kind of breaking every rule by solving cases, not moving on, avoiding death herself, and now the afterlife lost and found has found them. Oh, look at that. SpongeBob is on Netflix. 2 seasons. Oh, never mind. So, yeah, excited to see more of this. See, episode 1 was okay, you know? It didn't amaze me like the Sandman did. I'm only watching this just because of the connections. Okay, I've stayed on long enough. And one more encounter. And then I'll call it for tonight. So for now, that's going to be what we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over Chainsaw Man, Sandman, and Dead Boy Detectives. Plus, new episodes of Welcome to Derry when they drop. Alright, last encounter for tonight. No shiny tonight. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully this doesn't take another 4 months.